and welcome into another edition of the PH Factor. This month is really exciting because we get an opportunity to highlight some new things that we weren't even expecting this first quarter at Project Home, but some really cool activities and events, ways that the community is coming together to support us, and we are very, very happy to have that support. A longtime supporter of our organization is Milio Sandwiches, and we're going to talk to Brian Bergen today about how Milio's has created even another way to support Project Home. Brian, how are you?
I'm doing well, Jason. How are you?
I'm doing great, and even better since Milio's reached out to us and said, hey, you are selected for Local Matters to be a recipient of all of these subs we're going to sell and money we're going to raise, and that's going to Project Home. Please tell us about what Local Matters is and how it got started.
Sure. The idea is, being a sub shop is just a kind of a beginning for us. We're local. We're a local ownership. We think of ourselves as from Madison, from this local area, and we wanted to find a way to give back. So the idea came along to highlight a sub, and of that sub, $1.50 for each one we sold would go to some specific charity. And this quarter, it's Project Home.
It seems like a pretty simple idea, right? But there's, I'm sure, a lot of logistical things that had to come together to make that happen. So give us a little bit of the backstory about from idea concept to actually enacting that and bringing Local Matters to our whole area.
Yeah, it started in a meeting shortly after we bought the company, and the idea was we have to find a way to give back to our community. We have to differentiate ourselves from all the franchises that come in from all over the country. And we started coming up with ideas and eventually kind of landed on this idea that, we'd highlight a specific sub. And then from that sub, our customers would see that as they walk in, they would see that that's the sub that's in the donation side of things. And for every one of those, for the first time it was the Cuban sandwich. And right now it's the gourmet ham and cheese. So when people come in to buy that sandwich, then $1.50 that goes to our charity fund, and then whatever charity we're on that particular time period, they get the money. So it just came out of that idea that how do we contribute to being a local in our area, wherever we serve, and how do we become better corporation for people to deal with.
I love that local approach and focus. And, I did add this to our website too, so people can easily find it, but it's right on Milio's website.
Right.
Brian, tell people quickly about how they can find Milio's and find out more information about this Local Matters, because you guys have a nice write-up about it too, right on your website.
Right. Our website is the go-to place for that, and that's milios.com. Also, our app for your phone also has information on there about how to order, and it does have some information about our Local Matters, and those are the two best places to go find out. We have a lot of literature that we've put out through the press releases as well. So there's some stories I know there's a couple stories on Channel 3000 about it, and so it's out in the news. People are hearing about it, especially the recipients. So, and that's good.
Yeah, we're trying to do our part to boost it up. I know a lot of subs have been sold to staff members since this started, reaching out to other people. So really happy always to order from Milio's, but even more happy right now during the Local Matters initiative going through the end of March. So when you made that commitment, because we were just saying that before, how oftentimes groups will create a fundraiser for you like this, but they'll do it in more of a short-term basis. Why did you decide to go with a full quarter of operations for giving back to those nonprofits locally?
Well, and once it goes from yours, it'll go to another one. So it's a project that never really ends. It changes from Project Home to the next, to the next, to the next. So the charity will continue to go on, but Local Matters is kind of here to stay. It's going to be kind of a permanent thing for us. We want to give back to the community for the reason because they're giving to us. It's a give and take in this town, and that really, I think, differentiates us from our competitors. That's one of the things that I think matters.
Milio's has a long history of giving back too, and I was kind of catching people up here a little bit about, and even looking internally, I had to go back and reflect myself about how long Milio's has supported Project Home. It seems like it's been a company initiative for a long time. Talk a little bit about why that tradition has been so strong and why you continue to carry it on.
Milio's has been around for 32 years in Madison and in Dane County and really in Iowa and Minnesota as well, because we're doing there. We have local matters there as well. But the idea that we're just want to be a good community member, and in giving to certain charities is a great way to do that, especially something like Project Home. So it's not that it's a short-term thing for us. This is a systemic part of our company. We're going to continue to do this is forever.
It seems like good and smart business as well. But I did want to, give Milio's a shout out for being such a long time supporter of so many. And like you said, when you have as big of a reach now to the size the company has gotten to, you can make a big impact in your community. And it seems like you guys have really done that. You talked about how many locations you have right here in the Madison area.
Right.
I mean, they're all over the place.
Yeah, there's 12 locations in Dane County right now, and there's one opening in Stoughton soon, this summer, and we're just looking where we should go next.
I don't want you to give any secrets away, but I have heard from so many people, my parents too. Okay, so I grew up in northeastern Wisconsin, and my parents come down, and every time they come down, they like to go to Milio's for at least one of the meals that that they're here for. And they're like, they have the best bread. It's so
Best
good.
bread ever.
So, don't give those secrets up. But man, you got compliments from all over outside the region too, how good your bread is.
Yeah, that was absolutely on the discussion the day we were talking about buying it. It's like, well, why should we buy it? Well, their bread's awful good. It's just their bread. And now it's, our bread's pretty good. It really is phenomenal. I know what we buy, and I know our product is very good. What we buy is very top end product. But really the key to our success is our employees, good people, just like on your website, you talk about the people that volunteer for you. You get that person that's really good at what they do and they enjoy doing it. That's an experience that our customers expect now. You walk into Milio's and you hadn't been there in a month, and they go, "You want a number 5 on French?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's what I want." How do you know that? And that type of interaction is just a really good thing for customers. And it happens. I hear that all the time from all sorts of people. And lastly, it's really, we're also local owners. And I think that makes a difference in a company. I care about the store that's on Regent Street. Personally, as the owner of the company, I care about that store. I care about those stores that are down in Iowa. So being a local company, being, from here, for here, is really important to us. And I think that separates us from our competitors.
I would agree. Love what you do at Milio's. Thanks so much for taking time to talk with us today. And thanks for allowing us to be a beneficiary of local matters. Brian, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Everything you guys do at Milio's. We appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you.
And we continue on here on the PH Factor as now we transition over from eating for good to another way to do good in our community, and a big event coming up here on March 1st. It's the Big Share with, you guessed it, Community Shares, and Cheri Dubiel from Community Shares of Wisconsin with us now to tell us all about this year's The Big Share, some of the happenings, some of the things that are taking place, and ways that you can participate, right?
That's right. Thank you for having me here today. It'll be our 8th Big Share, so we're excited about it.
It's always great to hear from you, Cheri, and find out about, all the things Community Shares of Wisconsin is doing. So quickly, before we get into the Big Share, give people the brief overview of what the organization is if they're not familiar.
Community Shares of Wisconsin, we actually just celebrated our 50th anniversary in 2021. So we're just coming on the heels of that. We are a fundraising organization, a cooperative fundraising organization. Primarily throughout our history, we have raised funds through workplace giving campaigns. We now are transitioning to other ways of participating, including the Big Share. We also have been raising money the whole 50 years from the CHIP program at the Willie Street Co-op as well, and a variety of other ways as well. And so in addition to raising funds for our 70 different member groups, we also help to develop collaborations and help to develop their capacity and improve their behind the scenes operations. And everybody is focused on social justice and or environmental sustainability. So a very focused group of nonprofits doing good and working toward change.
Critical work in our community, and the work continues, right? It goes on. Part of the support for these groups that are doing important work throughout is the Big Share. It's become the biggest fundraiser for so many of the CSW groups. So let's talk about it. Cheri, tell people how they can participate and what the Big Share is all about.
It's an online day of giving. As we said, this will be our 8th year, and so we continue evolving and growing. And it is accessible to all. We wanted to make sure that most everybody in the community could get involved. And so we have a $5 minimum donation. And we encourage folks to go to thebigshare.org, and you can find out more about the groups that are participating. The other thing that we're really encouraging more of this year is the opportunity for folks to create their own fundraising campaigns for their favorite groups. And so you can go to, if you click on the menu, if you want to do that while we're talking.
Oh, sure.
And click on fundraiser guide. You can go right there and set up your own fundraising campaign for your favorite group. And so I would assume a lot of folks who are listening are big Project Home supporters. And so if you want to take your support of Project Home to the next level, you can go to this page, learn how you can set up your own page so you can raise funds specifically for one of the member groups who are participating. And it's pretty simple. There's step-by-step directions. You can add a photo and use the link that's provided to send it out on your social media, through email, etc. And all of the funds that you raise on behalf of that organization then are part of their total that they're raising for the day. And so there's different prizes for those groups that raise the most and have the most donors, etc. So it's a really fun day. And it's also a great way to build a stronger community and a stronger movement for social and environmental justice. And so we definitely want to get the word out even more this year, how people who are in the community, even if your full-time job is not being a fundraiser like yours and mine is, you can help to support some of these groups in the community with your special fundraising page.
Yeah, it's such a critical piece. Just participation, right, is a key component to the Big Share, and that's why I love it how you have the event set up where there is just that very low minimum donation amount to participate. So there's that way, but then there's so much more you can do, and because we all are in this world where we all have our own social media accounts and presence and things we do there and connections that way. Peer-to-peer is set up to be very easy for you to reach out within those networks, use email, use some of the electronic communication opportunities we have, and get some people on your ship, and bring in a gift together. You can even name it fun, like Team Scooby-Doo or whatever you want to go with, right? Like what is
Yeah.
your
Or
interesting
maybe,
collection of friends?
or maybe you have a group that gets together for trivia, or you have a group
Right.
that gets together for pool or book club. We've had book clubs that set up their own fundraising page. So if you have a group of friends that already exists and you have some shared values or some shared interests in how you believe the community can grow and get stronger, this is a great opportunity for you all to work together as a team. And that's a lot of fun too. And so that's really the key to the Big Share, is spreading the word to as many people as possible and getting as many people involved as possible. And I think that is at the heart of Community Shares as an organization as well. That's always been our history, that we're focused on engaging as many people as possible and making entry into the process as minimal as possible, so everybody at every stage can make a contribution and be involved. Even looking at the community chip program, which is another big project of Community Shares, that's a few cents at the checkout at the Willie Street Co-op when you go shopping. Those kinds of small donations are what build the power of Community Shares in our member organizations.
The other key thing I wanted to make sure people were aware of is their power to help circulate information for your favorite organizations and about the event online, because we're all going to do our part and we're going to be putting stuff out. But you as an individual or as an organization or a company or whatever, or both, can help spread the word even further. That just reaches more people and helps everybody. So please use
Exactly.
that as well. Please, please.
Right, right. And when we say the big share, we don't just mean money. We mean, yeah, sharing it out on social media, sharing it out to your friends. And maybe that's the contribution that you can make this year. You know, a lot of us are tight or have some tight paychecks these days, but one thing that you have is your followers on social media. And if you can get the word out to them, that is a huge contribution as well. You're absolutely right.
I love that part. There's so many different ways to participate, be involved, be a part of the day. There's also, Cheri, you're coming back with the Big Share Live, right? So people can check that out throughout the day and see how the progress is going.
Right. So if you go to thebigshare.org, starting on Monday night, February 28th, we'll be on the Big Share Live. And what we've done is, since the pandemic, used to do a number of in-person events throughout the day, and we've brought that all together inside. And now we do it's kind of like a telethon. Some of us remember like the Jerry Lewis telethon from back in the day. And so we'll have entertainment throughout the day and panels of speakers. Our groups will be coming together to share the ways that they collaborate together. And that, I think, is going to be another great way to follow along and be involved. It's just a lot of fun to hear from all of the groups. And you can always see, if you click on that Big Share Live, you can't see any live video yet, but as part of it, you can see how much each group has raised so far. And on the right side, all donors, the donation amount and who they are giving to is going to be scrolling as well. So, and you can keep track of how much is total dollars are raised throughout the day. And that's something that the staff, and I'm sure the staff of the members, including you probably, Jason, constantly refreshing to see what's the total now. And so it's just a fun community-wide opportunity for people to cheer each other on. And I think what also makes the Big Share so special is the focus of the nonprofits. The social justice and environmental focus is a focus that these kinds of big events don't normally have. And so it's a lot of smaller nonprofits. You know, some of the groups that are participating don't have any paid staff, and they're managing to pull together a fundraising campaign. And for a lot of these groups, this is their main fundraiser for the year. And they have very sophisticated plans in place, volunteer-based or staff-based. So it ends up being just this really fun day, and there's so much energy and excitement, and people do all sorts of goofy things throughout the day to try to get their videos and their messages to go viral. And so you can always count on somebody doing something really silly. And yeah, it's a really great community event, and it's a lot of fun.
So many different ways they can participate and make their gifts, and it's easy and then easy to share as well. And then the other thing, as was just pointed out by looking at the Big Share Live screen, is that people can make donations in advance, Cheri, if that's more convenient for them. So the sites
Absolutely.
are open now, right?
Exactly. We flipped the switch to start receiving donations in January. And the reason for that is because when we are starting to promote it, if a donor's feeling inspired and they want to see how it works, we definitely want to encourage people to start giving. The other thing that does is, as you're alluding to, you know, maybe you might know that you're not going to be in town that day, and you want to make sure to be part of the fun by giving ahead of time. So, and then also setting up a peer-to-peer fundraising page. That's something you'll have better luck if you set it up a little bit ahead of time and have some time to get the word out. So yeah, you can start making a donation now if you'd like. And then we actually receive donations for another week after March 1st as well. And that's because not everybody is on social media as much as I am. And so they might not see the posts until a couple of days later. And we want to make sure that they get to participate as well.
Yeah, we're working here, Cheri, too, on doing our part. Each organization does so many different things while Community Shares is doing events throughout the day. It's a great opportunity for us as nonprofits to highlight our partners, our supporters, to show them some love. And we really appreciate the opportunity that Community Shares of Wisconsin amplifies, how they amplify that for us and give our partners that much more exposure. So that's great. You mentioned the kickoff. Now there's some fun activities along with that too. So let's quickly tell people how they can participate or be involved in the kickoff here.
Yeah, this will be our second year kicking off the Big Share with Drag Queen Bingo. And Bianca Lynn Breeze and Cass Marie, who are two local, amazing, talented drag queens, will be hosting Zoom Bingo. And we'll be having some registration information available for that soon. But yes, you'll receive a bingo card by email, and then they'll be pulling the numbers on Zoom, and then people play on Zoom. And so it's fun. Last year it was a blast, and the drag queens, of course, were amazingly fun and entertaining. And I think that, gives you a little more of the flavor of the Big Share as, something that is inclusive and colorful and fun. And we want people to celebrate their commitment to these issues and to feel a sense of community. So so that's going to be another big fun event too.
All right, so much to get into. Again, kickoff there. The event activities carries through the end of the day, March 1st. Donations can be made in advance. We covered that. They can be made up to the end of the week, right? That same week.
So another thing you can do, I'll say real quick, businesses can set up a business fundraising page as well. And so folks who are listening who are part of a business, there's a business fundraising option as well. And you set up a page to support that you can share with your customers, with your employees, et cetera, and help to join in the fun as well.
I love that. That's kind of a hidden way to create a nice fundraiser internally, build some, team activity there, and connect with your customers, like you said, open it up to your customers. That's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, people share it on their social media and with their staff as well, and create little competitions within the staff.
Competition always helps a little bit. That's fun, Cheri. Cheri, thanks for everything you and everyone at Community Shares of Wisconsin is doing. We look forward to the Big Share again this year, and give it our best and see if we can top last year.
Yay! Go Project Home.
Have a great one, Cheri. Talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, Jason.